Hi. So, for my community cafe, I'm going to be talking about the Proceedings First Nation and the Shawanaga First Nation. They are both the closest two reserves to my home. So, for both these groups, they have both been affected by the Williams Treaty and the Robinson-Huron Treaty, or Treaty 61 of 1850. And when these groups were discussing treaties, to the Aboriginal peoples, a treaty is a relationship continuously growing. Whereas to the Europeans or the colonizers, it's a way to get what they want, deal with what they see as a problem. Treaties, on average, the Indigenous people weren't included in the discussions for these treaties. They were kind of just told what would happen. So that is not fair at all. And it could affect where you people live, what you're allowed to do. It could affect your hunting and fishing rights. But fortunately, with the Robinson-Huron Treaty, hunting and fishing rights were protected because some ancestors of Ojibwe descent were the ones who signed some of these papers, and that actually protected some of the hunting and fishing rights. Another thing that happened through these treaties and the Indian Act, which was a piece of legislation that is still in effect to this day, was the residential school system, where with the Proceedings First Nation, there was actually 35 children who were taken from their families and put into the school. And with these residential school systems would come a cultural genocide and an intergenerational trauma that is still affecting thousands, just countless amounts of people to this day. And while they were getting paid annuities for the ceded lands that they did sell and give up to the government, the cost of the money they were receiving never increased over time. So they're still receiving these $4 checks every year for all this land. And like that amounts to like maybe every 2 checks you can buy a couple loaves of bread. It is an embarrassment. As one of the elders has stated, their ancestors did not give up their land for their descendants to be forever poor and in need of help. On a more recent notice, for example, with the Shawanaga First Nations, they've actually started legal proceedings to correcting some of the mistakes that happened during the signing of the Robinson-Williams Treaty, where when they were talking about the size of the reserve, they were talking about it in leagues, and yet the translator was putting it into miles. So there is a large discrepancy in the amount of land. And with the Proceedings First Nation who live in Parry Sound or live on Parry Island and have a friendship center in town, they actually have yearly potlucks and frequent events. And even this weekend right now, they're having a whole community gathering at the Stocky Center to celebrate the culture and the people.